Go to you first, and I'd like to read a quote from John Kerby, the State Department's spokesperson. Quote, extremist groups will continue to exploit the vacuums that are in Syria to expand their operations, which could include attacks against Russian interests, perhaps even Russian cities. Russia will continue to send troops home in body bags and will continue to lose resources, perhaps even aircraft. Aadam, how do you read that? Is that a description of what possibly could happen, or is that a threat?
I think it's an open threat, and I would encourage Mr. Kerby to curb his enthusiasm. The fact remains that at this precise moment, the world stands closer to war than at any time since 1962. I refer, of course, to the Cuban Missile Crisis, when stationary missiles in Cuba got America riled, and stationary American missiles in Turkey and Italy quite upset the Soviet Union. Now, those were stationary. This is a hot war in which Russia, in fighting alongside the ally in the Syrian Arab Army, are necessarily fighting America's proxies in the myriad of terrorist groups, most famously al-Nusra, and in fact up to including elements of the so-called ISIS, and it's an incredibly dangerous situation. The fact that someone like Kerby could say what he has, the fact that Garrie has said that no more discussion is possible, or perhaps probable, but we're getting, to the former, and the fact that you've got someone like the hysterical Samantha Power, the most ironically named woman in the history of international diplomacy, treating the request server, Mr. Churkin, as though there's something less than serious. It all comes down to the fact that not only are America doing what fits Einstein's definition of insanity by repeating the same thing multiple times and expecting a different result, they've taken this document right here, the Charter of the United Nations, and they've ripped it apart. They've totally disregarded international law, and people are at danger, including the American people, who ought to do something more to hold their government to account.
Well, I think we all know that. The problem is the message that Washington is sending out, and it is very powerful, and it's very compelling for Western audiences. That's why we're here, to be a counterbalance.